and this is the Cedar Log.
In order to tell the story of the founding of Delmont Lodge 43, we must go back to the pre-OA societies of Camp Delmont. As at many scout camps in the early 20th century, there was a need to retain older scouts and recognize distinguished campers. Thus, the Unami tribe, also known as the Teepee Order, was founded in 1918. For a more in-depth look at this organization, listen to our previous episode called Teepee Order.
As we discussed in our prior episode, the Unami tribe lasted for a while, but increasingly became partial as the years went on. Incredibly, the Unami tribe failed to serve the youth of Delaware and Montgomery County's council, and Cloder advisor Mike Comfort. It had become more of an elite organization for adults and an asset and service to the youth of council.
Another pre-OA honor society, called the Pyramid Club, emerged in the 1920s. Much of what we know about this organization comes from an article published in 1925 by the North Penn Review. The organization was established by George I. Bodine, Jr. in 1922 and began with a chapter in Philadelphia. To become a member, a scout had to be 16 years old and earn one merit badge. A chapter was established at Camp Delmont with officers going by the titles of Pharaoh, Scarab, Cyclops, and Treasurer. The organization also had its own ceremonies, but it is unknown what they were.
Interestingly, the Pyramid Club had built a concrete pyramid just beyond Wilbert Rock, and it measured 24 inches long by 24 inches wide and 18 inches in height. The pyramid had a box inside of it with names of all its members. But just like the Unami tribe, the Pyramid Club did not last and disappeared.
When it came to bringing the OA to Delmont, the scout executives were hesitant at first, but an investigation into the organization was launched, and it was then decided to charter a lodge. Delmont Lodge was founded on July 9, 1929, by Jack Foster, who served as the activities director of Camp Delmont. Jack Foster had taken his ordeal at Treasure Island earlier in the summer, and Henry Fawcett took his ordeal at TI a week after Foster. Thus, Jack Foster became the first chief of Delmont Lodge, and Henry Fawcett was the first member. Russell Mould joined them and served as a lemnipiece, which was either a treasurer or secretary position.
The charter fee of $10 was paid by Henry Fawcett, and Delmont Lodge had a strong first summer. Ceremonies were held weekly at Camp Delmont, and 61 candidates were inducted within a year. The ordeal was similar today, with the candidates given an egg sandwich for breakfast and a cheese sandwich for lunch.
Of note, an arrow site was built by some of the candidates at what is now the Algonquins campsite in what became to be called Cedar Camp in the 1940s. In the 70s, altar stone with the words "Beware" painted on it could still be found.
The William Savile Memorial Cabin was chosen as a totem of the lodge since Camp Delmont was known for that particular style of cabin. The cabin was built by his troop Highland Park 1 in 1928. It was dedicated to William Savile, their former scoutmaster, who was killed on July 20th, 1918, while serving in the American Expeditionary Force during World War I.
The cabin was entirely built of cedar, and national publications called it the finest type of shelter for overnight camping. It was first used as a first aid station and was later used as a camp program area. Unfortunately, the cabin was dismantled in 1959, but a replica was built some years later.
In 1930, 40 Delmont Lodge officers sealed their bond of brotherhood, and J.H. Sarman was elected to serve as lodge chief. Also, Jack Foster was voted to be the first Delmont member to keep his vigil. Foster kept his vigil with Henry Fawcett at the 1931 National Lodge meeting at Lake George in New York.
In the early years, Delmont Lodge constructed a trail around the borders of Delmont, assisted with training sessions called the Scoutmaster's Powwow each year, and served as staff for the annual Valley Forge pilgrimage. Of note, in 1932, Lodge members served as escorts for Dan Beard and General Pershing when they attended the pilgrimage as guests of honor.
In 1935, Delmont Lodge was divided into 9 chapters, with a chapter chief for each chapter. Inductions in 1937 began at the evening retreat, where a tap-out was conducted. Candidates were given a sealed envelope with instructions that would be opened after the dinner. They would then assemble at the swimming hole with the cedar twig in their pocket and be led down a trail to where the ceremony would be conducted. The tests of the ordeal were the same as today.
The Cedar Log is a production of the Unami Lodge History Committee, hosted by Aiden and Jason, video by Luke and Reese, audio editing by Luke, and script by Mike Comfort and Reese.
Watch.